Hello, my dear students in 4th primary. How are you? Hope you are doing well. In our previous lessons, we learned some important mathematical terms. تعلمنا إيه هو النومينيتور والدينومينيتور والunit fraction and fractions. We will learn some more in our lesson, but let me ask you. عايزة أسألكوا سؤال. Have you ever heard about improper fractions or mixed numbers? عمركم سمعتوا عن improper fractions والmixed number? We will find out the answer in this question in Unit 9, Lesson 4, all mixed up. Also, we will learn about mixed numbers and improper fractions and explain how mixed numbers and improper fractions relate to the unit fractions. Of course, you still remember the meaning of unit fraction. متأكدة إن أنتوا كلكم لسه فاكرين الunit fraction اللي هو كان fraction النومينيتور بتاعه كان 1. Do you still remember how to decompose fractions؟ فاكرين ازاي كنا بنعمل decompose للfractions؟ Now let's apply. تعالوا نطبق بقى كل اللي احنا اتعلمناه in the previous lessons to the problems under Axis Error Analysis page 11. Let's see it all together. Okay, now in the Axis part, as you see here, one of our friends decomposed 3/5 as shown. He wrote in 3/5 equals 2/3 plus half. Is what he did correct? هو اللي عمله ده صح؟ What did he do wrong? وإيه اللي عمله غلط؟ Can you write the correct answer in the table on page 12? Now I'll give you time to think, and when we are back, we will review the answers all together. And now after you have finished, you have noticed that the student correctly decomposed the denominator, which is 3 to 2 and 1. Let's see the table here. As you can see here in page 12, يبقى here we have to write the correct that the student do. هو عمل إيه؟ عمل decomposing للنومينيتور, right? يبقى we will write here, he decomposed the numerator. اوكي طيب هو الكويستشن كان ايه اصلا؟ كان 3/5 equals 2/3 plus 1/2. يبقى اول حاجه عملها صح ان هو he decomposed 3 into 2 plus 1. طيب ايه الحاجه اللي هو عملها غلط؟ he incorrectly decomposed the denominator. عمل decompose للدينومينيتور. لو 5 عملها 3 plus 2. بس احنا متفقين اصلا ان you don't decompose any denominator. اي denominator I keep it as it is. I only decompose the numerator. يبقى الحاجه اللي هو عملها غلط ان he decompose the denominator. اوكي طيب now the answer should be what? Yes, the answer should be in 3/5. Who can tell me 3/5 equals what? Of course 2/5 plus 1/5. طيب ايه اللي حصل هنا؟ ان I just decomposed the numerator 3 into 2 plus 1 and I keep the denominator as it is. طيب على فكرة ممكن نعمل decomposing ل 3/5 in a different way by using the unit fraction. تعالوا نعملها مع بعض كده. يبقى I can write 3/5 equals what? What is the unit fraction here? Yes, of course, 1/5. يبقى 3/5 equals 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5. Okay? And now after we have analyzed our classmates' answer and we knew that what he did correctly and what he did incorrectly and decomposed the fraction in more than one way. عملنا decomposing للفراكشن بأكتر من طريقة. You can now explore the improper fractions. And now let's move to the build part, page 12. Okay. Now here's the build part. I know you might be asking yourselves now if there are proper fractions و improper fractions. أنا عارفة إن كلنا بنسأل نفسنا نفس السؤال. هو في حاجة اسمها proper fractions وحاجة اسمها improper fractions. If you look at the fraction in problem number 1 here, which is 3/2. طيب can you identify how this fraction is different from the other fractions؟ تقدروا تقولوا لي 3/2 دي مختلفة ازاي عن الفراكشنز اللي احنا خدناها قبل كده أو درسناها قبل كده؟ Of course, you can notice that the numerator is larger than denominator. 3 أكبر من 2. يبقى numerator bigger than the denominator. And you will see this in all the improper fraction. يبقى احنا عرفنا ال improper fractions كلها بنلاقي النوميريتور أكبر من الدينومينيتور. وده ال different from the proper fractions. هو ده الاختلاف عن ال proper fraction that we studied before. In proper fraction هنلاقي إن النوميريتور is smaller than the denominator. زي إيه؟ زي half for example أو quarter أو 3/5 أو 1/3. كل دول represent proper fraction. طيب وكمان في ال proper fraction the value of the fraction is less than 1. Now let's draw a model to represent the improper fraction which is 3/2. Now you can draw a circle and divide it into 2 shaded equal parts. ليه 2؟ عشان الدينومينيتور بتاعي 2. احنا اتفقنا الدينومينيتور is the whole parts. يبقى أنا هعمل circle كده and I will divide it into 2 equal parts. طيب we need only 2 parts ولا هي 3/2؟ يعني we need 3 shaded parts, right? So I will shade these 2 parts and I will draw another circle and divided it into 2 equal parts. Why? Because the whole parts are 2. طيب and what should I do here? Yes, I need 3 shaded parts. يبقى 1, 2 and I will shade another part here. Okay? Now, I am sure you have noticed that we shaded in a whole circle and half of another circle. يعني أنا عملت shading أو coloring the whole circle وكمان half of the other circle. This model represents the improper fraction which is 3/2. As you can see, we drew 2 circles, same size. I divided each one into 2 parts because the denominator here is 2. So, when we shaded one whole circle and half of the second circle, ده معناه إيه؟ ده معناه إن ال improper fraction is bigger than 1. Also from the model, we can see that 3/2 equals what? هي 3/2 فيها كام half؟ فيها half plus half plus half. يبقى 3/2 equals half plus half plus half. فيها 3 halves. And now, let's see another example to understand the improper fractions more and more. Now, let's draw a model to show the improper fraction 5/3. تعالوا نشوف كده 5/3. Okay? This time, I will draw a rectangle as you see it here. الريكتانجل ده I will divide it into 3 equal parts. زي ما احنا شايفين كده أنا رسمت rectangle divided into 3 equal parts. ليه 3 equal parts؟ عشان ال denominator is 3. طيب I will shade the parts that represent the numerator. We will shade the first part with second part with third part. يبقى here I will shade the first part, the second part and the third one. طيب بس كده to represent the rest of the parts we need to draw another rectangle. أنا لسه ما خلصتش shaded parts اللي عندي. لازم أرسم rectangle تاني like you see here. طيب now and I will divide it into 3 equal parts again. Then I will shade the fourth and the fifth only. عشان عندي 5/3 يبقى I must shade fourth and fifth part. Right? Okay. This model represents what? This model represents the improper fraction which is 5/3. 5/3 يعني 5 shaded part and the whole parts are 3. يبقى 5/3 equals 3 plus 3 3/3 plus 2/3 أو 3/3 plus 2/3 right؟ طيب هو مش 3/3 equals what؟ 3/3 equals whole 1 right؟ يبقى 5/3 equals whole 1 plus 2/3. Now in the same way as you can solve problem number 2, let's see problem number 2 here, and here is problem number 2. He wants me to draw and label a model for 7/3. I will give you now some time to think and we will review the answers all together when we are back. And now after you have finished, let's see how to model 7/3. Okay, now as you can see, we can write 7/3 in in two ways, right? So, why can I write this? Yes, as you see here, I have 3 parts and each one divided into 3 equal parts. I have 3 rectangles, each rectangle divided into 3 equal parts. Okay, now I shaded 2 whole rectangles and 1/3. طيب ليه عملت كده؟ عشان 7 over 3. يعني I must shade 7 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. I shaded 7 parts out of 3. Okay? In problem number 3 on page 13, we are asked to look at the model and answer the questions. Here's page 13, as you see here. The first question is about the unit fraction used to build the improper fraction shown in the model. Okay? I'm sure you still remember that. Unit fraction متأكدة إن إحنا لسه فاكرين إن unit fraction النومينيتور بتاعه is 1 والدينومينيتور بتاعه is the number of all the parts. The number of the parts in this shape is 5 as you see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. عندي 5 parts. So the unit fraction I used here is what? Of course 1 over 5. يبقى الunit fraction بتاعي is 1 over 5 or I can write it 1/5. They are the same. 1 over 5 is 1/5. طيب let's move to the second question. The second question is about the number of unit fractions colored. How many colored parts here? تعالوا كده let's count all together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. يبقى أنا عندي 8 colored parts. So I will write here 8 colored parts. The last question, آخر question بقى is about the improper fraction. Okay? That is represented by this model. We know that colored parts احنا اتفقنا ان colored parts I have 8 colored parts. يبقى 8 هو ده النوميريتور بتاعي. The denominator is the whole number of parts, which is how many number or how many parts? 5 parts. يبقى الفراكشن بتاعي 8 over 5 and this is the improper fraction. And now let's move to problems number 5 and 6. We need to circle the correct model for the given improper fraction. Okay? طيب, now the first fraction is 7 over 6 as you see here. 7 over 6 it is improper fraction. The number of shaded parts is 7. 7 over 6 معناها إن 7 shaded parts over 6. The denominator as we know that it is the total number of the parts, which is 6. So the answer is the second model. ليه answer is the second model? Because here is 6 parts and we have 7 shaded parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. يبقى عندي 7 shaded parts and the whole number is 6. So this is the right answer. And now let's move to problem number 6. Problem number 6 الامبروبر fraction بتاعي 5 over 4. يعني ايه 5 over 4؟ يعني عندي 5 shaded parts and the whole number is 4. So the whole circle is divided or must be divided into 4 parts عشان الدينومينيتور بتاعي 4. طيب لو بصينا على التو مودلز هنلاقي ان التو مودلز السيركلز بتوعي divided into 4. يبقى لازم ابص دلوقتي على النوميريتور. محتاجه ان انا الاقي circles او 5 colored parts. So the answer is the first model because here is 5 colored parts and the whole number in one circle is 4. الانسر بتاعي the first model. As we have finished solving the problems and become very good at dealing with the improper fractions, let's add the term improper fractions to the fraction and chart and define it as fraction. Here is my chart and I will add here the improper fraction. It is the proper fraction with numerator greater than denominator. خلاص احنا كلنا عرفنا ان improper fraction النومينيتور بتاعي لازم يبقى اكبر من denominator, like 5/3 and 7/4 for example. And now as you can define and model improper fractions, let's explore another new term. تعالوا بقى نتعرف على term جديد which is called the mixed numbers. What do you think a mixed number means? تفتكروا mixed number يعني ايه mixed number؟ How can we write it? طب تعالوا ناخد كده example على البورد to see it all together. And now let's write 2 and half. Here's 2 and 1/2. طيب you will notice that كلنا أكيد ملاحظين إن this number consists of whole number which is 2 and fraction which is half. And this is what is called a mixed number. من اسمه كده mix يعني whole number وكمان fraction. I will draw a model to represent this mixed number 2 and half, and please pay attention with me. Now we have two wholes, so we can draw two circles, right? And divide each one into equal parts to represent the denominator. تعالوا أول حاجة هنعملها هنرسم two circles. Each one I will divide it into two halves. ليه two halves؟ عشان الدينومينيتور بتاعي is 2. We will shade all the parts. ليه؟ عشان أنا عندي two holes. يبقى هعمل shaded to the two whole circles, right? طيب then we will draw a third circle لأن أنا عندي two holes and half. يبقى هرسم كمان circle. And I will divide it also into two halves. But this time I will shade only one half. Okay? Like you see here. So the two circles represent the two holes and the half of the circle represent the half. And it is not necessary على فكرة مش لازم أبدا إن احنا divide the circles which represent the two holes. يعني ممكن أعمل one circle وأعملها shaded على طول. بس أنا ليه عملتهم divided into two parts عشان نفهم الكونسبت بتاع الدينومينيتور بتاعي. Okay, now we will divide them into two parts because the denominator here is 2, and that's why I divide each circle into 2. طيب تعالوا بقى let's count the parts all together. أنا عايزة أعرف عندي how many parts here. طيب 1 2 3 4 5 6 right? Okay, I have 6 parts, but how many shaded parts? I have 5 shaded or colored parts, and this is the numerator. What about the denominator? The denominator will not change. يبقى عندي الدينومينيتور عندي only 2 parts. يبقى here the fraction is 5 over 2. What does this mean? ده معناه إيه؟ ده معناه إن 2 and half equals to 5 over 2. And they are both equivalent or equal. And now let's do the activity mixed to improper under build page 13 and 14. Now let's do it on the board. And now after we have solved the example of the mixed number, let's solve the example on page 13. تعالوا كده نشوف page 13 مع بعض. Here on page 13 we have two models. We need to shade in the parts that represent the mixed number which is 3 and 1 over 5. Now the whole number in this mixed number is E. فين ال whole number هنا? Yes, the whole number is 3 and the fraction is 1 over 5. So the whole circles in the fourth circle, we will shade only one part to represent 1 over 5. To find the improper fraction, we will count the shaded parts. طب أول حاجة أنا عندي 3 whole parts يبقى I will color 3 whole circles. وعندي fraction 1 over 5 يعني I will color أو shade only one part out of 5. Okay? To represent 3 and 1 over 5. طب دلوقتي أنا عايز أعرف الامبروبر fraction بتاعي هعمله إزاي؟ Yes, I will count the shaded parts. تعالوا كده نعد ال shaded parts. This is 5, another 5 10, another 5 15, and one part. So I have 16 parts. And 16 is my numerator. What about the denominator? The denominator will be the numbers of the parts in only one circle, which is 5 parts. يبقى النومينيتور بتاعي 16 والدينومينيتور بتاعي 5 parts only. So 3 and 1 over 5 equals to 16 over 5. In the same way, you can shade in the model at the beginning of the page 14. تعالوا كده نشوف بقى page 14 with each other. Here in page 14, in mixed to improper part 3, page 14. We will convert, عايزين نحول المixed number to improper fractions. Let's solve this, or let's solve problem number 1. Problem number 1 بتقول لي إيه؟ بتقول لي 5 and 1 over 4. As you see 5 and 1 over 4 دي mixed number عايزة أحولها ل improper fraction. We need to convert this into this mixed number to improper fraction. طيب, so we'll draw a model to represent it and count the shaded parts, right? So, as we did in the last problem, we can solve it in another way. ممكن نحلها بطريقة مختلفة خالص. إن إحنا نعمل إيه؟ I will multiply the denominator by the whole number and then I will add the numerator. يعني هعمل إيه؟ هعمل 5 times 4 then plus denominator اللي هو 1. Okay. Now هي 5 times 4 equals what? 5 times 4 equals 20 plus 1 يعني 21 over what? احنا اتفقنا ان denominator I will keep it as it is يعني 21 over 4. And now in problem number 2 we need to convert the mixed number اللي هو 2 and 1 over 6 into improper fraction. طيب زي ما اتفقنا هعمل 2 times 6 الwhole number times denominator plus denominator اللي هو 1. 2 times 6 equals 12 plus 1 يعني 13 over 6. Right? Okay. Now the improper fraction will be as you see here 13 over 6. To check the answer we can draw a model. على فكرة ممكن نرسم موديل عشان نتأكد إن الأنسر بتاعنا right. We can draw 2 rectangles, divide each one into 6 parts. ممكن أرسم كده 2 rectangles كل واحد فيهم I'll divide them into 6 parts وهرسم and I will shade the 2 rectangles. ليه I shaded the 2 rectangles؟ عشان عندي 2 holes. وهرسم third rectangle divide it into 6 parts also, right? And I will shade only 1/6 of it. Okay? ليه؟ عشان عندي 2 holes and 1 over 6. To write the improper fraction we need to count all the shaded parts. طيب here 6 plus 6 12 plus 1 يعني 13, right? 13 parts out of what? Out of 6 and this is my improper fraction. The denominator will be the number of parts in one rectangle اللي هو زي ما قلنا 6 parts. So the improper fraction will be 13 over 6. Now in problem number 3 we need to convert the mixed number اللي هو 4 and 1 over 5 into improper fraction. I will do it by the same way. I will multiply the whole number by the denominator plus the numerator. Here 4 times 5 equals what? 20 plus 1 equals 21. 21 over what? Yes, I will keep the denominator as it is. يبقى 21 over 5 and this is my improper fraction. And now we can solve problem number 4 in the same way. 3 times 2, 6 plus 1, 7 over the denominator which is 2 and this is my improper fraction which is 7 over 2. And now as we have explored the meaning بعد ما عرفنا خلاص meaning of improper fractions والimproper fractions وكمان المixed number in build part and have solved some problems on them, let's add the term mixed number to the fraction answer chart before moving to the connect part. Okay, يبقى here is the mixed number. The mixed number احنا عارفين ال number has whole number and a fraction. Okay. Like what? Like for example 3 and 2 over 5, a 1 and half. This is the mixed number. As we have explored the improper fractions and mixed numbers and known how to convert one to the other, وعرفنا ازاي to convert each one to the other, let's now move to the connect part, page 14. And here in the connect part, we want to help منى. عايزين نساعد منى to decorate her cake. إن هي تعمل decoration للكيك بتاعتها. منى baked the square cake for her mom's birthday. كان في عيد ميلاد منى's mom وعملت لها كيك like square. She wanted to put a border of frosting on the top of the cake. عايزة تحط على top of الكيك كريمة عشان تزينها بيها. One of the sides of the cake measures 3 over 8 meters. One side measures 3 over 8 meters. طيب السؤال بيقول لي ايه؟ What is the parameter of the cake؟ البارامتر بتاع الكيك قد ايه؟ Write the answer as both. عايز الانسر mixed number وكمان as improper fraction. And now I'll give you time to think and when we are back we will review the answers all together. And after you have finished to calculate the parameter of the top of the cake which has the shape of square, we need to remember كده ازاي كنا بنعمل calculate للبارامتر بتاع السكوير. As you know, the parameter of any shape is equal to the total lengths of all the sides of the shape. طيب هو السكوير عنده how many sides؟ Yes, سكوير عنده 4 equal sides. So هعمل ايه؟ I will add 3 over 8. هعمل 3 over 8 plus 3 over 8 plus 3 over 8 plus 3 over 8 4 times. يبقى هعمل 3 over 8 plus 3 over 8 plus 3 over 8 plus 3 over 8 4 times because the square has 4 sides. So the numerator equals what? 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 equals what? Equals 12 over, I will keep the denominator as it is, which is 8. As we have learned from the decomposing fractions. And this is an improper fraction. خلاص احنا عرفنا ما دام النومينيتور bigger than the denominator يبقى اسمها improper fraction. Now we need to convert it into mixed number. You can do this through drawing a model أو directly through decomposing 12 over 8. عشان أحول improper fraction لميكس number ممكن أعمل decomposing. يعني إيه decomposing؟ يعني هخلي 12 over 8 تبقى 8 over 8 plus 4 over 8. اتفقنا إن إحنا بنعمل decomposing للنومينيتور only and keep the denominator as it is. And this is because هو مش ال 8 over 8 equal whole 1 and the remaining is 4 over 8. يبقى 12 over 8 اللي هي ال improper fraction equals to whole 1 and 4 over 8 which is the mixed number. And they are equal of course to each other. And now we have reached the practice part and check your understanding parts. You can access them by scanning the code shown and at the beginning of the lesson. The problems under practice are very similar to those we have solved. Let's solve problem number 1. And here's problem number 1. We need to write the fraction represented by this model مرة بالimproper fraction ومرة as mixed number. As you can see, we have 2 circles, each one divided into 5 parts. كل واحدة divided into 5 parts, which represent what? Represent the denominator. Okay, 5 parts here represent the denominator. The denominator will be the number of the shaded or colored parts. So the improper fraction is what? احنا قلنا 5 parts represent the denominator. And how many colored parts? Let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. يبقى الامبروبر fraction بتاعي 6 over 5. طيب أنا عايزة أحول بقى الامبروبر fraction this one to mixed number. We will shade in a whole circle and the part of another circle. طيب دلوقتي we have one whole and one part of the second circle, right? يعني لو خدت this part حطيته هنا يبقى عندي one whole and 1 over 5, right? So الميكس number بتاعي one whole circle and one part out of 5 and this is the mixed number. You can do the remaining problems in the practice part and the problems in check your understanding on your own way to expand your skills. And this is the end of our lesson and we have learned about mixed number. تعلمنا وعرفنا ايه هو الميكس number والimproper fraction وكمان عرفنا how the mixed number and improper fraction relate to the unit fractions. I hope you have enjoyed today's lesson so much and see you next lesson. Thank you so much for your watching.